Yeah.
There we go. All right. No, it was just a glitch. Always accuse
I
the
don't
kids.
know what this
Always
glitch
kids.
nonsense
It
is that you
is the children. They mess with stuff.
Z children mess
Yeah, we
with
need a laptop that just runs
everything.
that like nobody
Well, but
touches.
we're on the verge of that. We have to set up POS terminals because it's a POS.
Yes. Good morning, goeiemorgen.
Hi.
So, what
It
shall
is
we turn?
Sunday.
Yes. Shall we say Sunday controversy today?
We don't do controversy. We are realists. Real life situations. Apparently, we are in need of a 25-hour day. I still am not sure that is quite
No,
enough
it's not enough.
time. I was getting berated for not having pies made already for customers. But I was like,
Not berated. I just said customers are coming for pies. We've got to get them made. I don't know when.
not berated.
We'll
not
fit it in
berated.
some way.
Somewhere.
So good morning, everyone. Who are we saying good morning to?
We've got Chappie and Red Pill Rebel.
Good
First
morning,
and
gentlemen.
foremost. By the way, if you guys haven't connected, you have something in common. Red Pill Rebel, please meet Chappie. He's pretty cool. He's got an awesome channel too. We do have, and Anton was supposed to do that introduction. Sorry.
Meet. Chappie, Red Bull, Chappie.
Chappie says Sarge was great last night. Sarge is also great.
Yes,
Sarge
yes,
is...
but I gotta I'm sitting there listening, laughing, and then I hear my kids talking behind me. I'm like, oh, I gotta pull that volume down a little.
That's what makes it even more fun.
It's a little rough.
Even more fun. What can we say? Loyu, there we go. I saw somebody else come in. Loyu,
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Jimma.
Good morning.
And we've got Sign of Jonah as
Good
well.
morning. Good morning.
Pippi Longstocking, not quite. Is Pippi Buns Up?
Yes, Pippi Buns Up. So I thought, I've been listening to a lot of stuff, and the general kind of sentiment. So I think maybe let me start like this.
Start over, good sir.
Why over?
I'm just kidding.
Okay. So someone mentioned yesterday, that firstly, I mean, the whole premise is a little broken, but here we go. So what he said was, the government brings us in here to work as slaves. And I'm like, that's wrong on so many levels that I don't, we're talking specifically about like H visa workers. And I thought to myself, no, well, firstly, the government doesn't bring you in. It's got absolutely nothing to do with the government. The people who hire you apply for these visas. So it's the people who hire you. And he said, yeah, but it's almost like slave labor. And I said, well, yeah. I said, the problem you have, and I don't know how many people understand this. I've dealt with this personally because I'm on the other side of this. And, it's very difficult to understand how people wrap their heads around this, because it's very simple, it's very straightforward, but I think there are people without morals, which is where our problem comes. Like not even morals, just like principles. Like I have a principle. So Nicole and I, as most of you know, we work basically 7 days a week. We don't take breaks. We're going now on the fundraiser with Bonds and Viva, but that's
still
like
work.
That's still work, and it's long driving. But that's like probably the closest to a break we have had.
To a honeymoon.
Yes, we actually got married, never had a honeymoon. Just by the
worked.
way, we've been working all the way. So this is the closest. This is the closest we are getting to doing anything away, and we can't take our kids, which I'm feeling a little sad about because I really like my children, but we can't do it. It's too complicated to try and go and do that and the kids. So anyway, so it's the first time in forever, I think. Yes, it's the first time forever that we're spending more than like a day away from our kids, like half a day away from our kids. We are always with our children. So that said, I want to try and get back on the subject. So you have to have some basic principles. Now, why I tell you about what we do is I refuse, as a principle, to hire anybody that is illegal. I have never done that in my life. I have no intent of doing it. Even in South Africa, when it was easy to do that, where there's a lot of, like, it's not as controlled as it is here, but I can pretty much just hire someone, give him some cash, and off they go. I mean, you could pretty much do the same here. The problem here is, like in South Africa, I can mess with my books. Here, the IRS is a little more strict. So if you want to write something off, but they do give you $450 a day. What's the amount you can kind of pay cash and just make a little receipt?
Oh, it's a 600.
600
per
a day.
person.
Per
No,
person,
not a day.
600 per person. So if you give them 200 a day for 3 days, as long as it's 600 and less. So there is loopholes, and that is completely legal. You can do that. So you just have to change Jose to Jesus to, Jeff, and you just keep paying them. So anyway, that said, no social, no anything. Just that said, when you so let me try this a different way. So when you hire me, for example, to do a job, I have me, I have a home, I have a car, I have my wife, maybe kids. So I have a certain level of income I require to maintain that. If I don't have all of those things and you hire me as an American, okay, and I know I'm getting there, but as an American, you hire an American, they might work for less money, but at some point, the guy is working not so he makes you rich, he works so he can earn a good living, so he can set himself up. That's kind of the point. Otherwise, you might as well go work for yourself or just do fuck all and sit on welfare if you're not going to go anywhere.
In your mama's garage.
Yes, in your mama's fucking basement or garage. Yeah, because we don't have basements.
We don't have basements here.
But the point is, so if you're going to hire an American, okay, if he's young, he might work for less money. But if he wants to marry, if he's got a girlfriend, or he wants to marry, or he wants to get, or he is married, or anything to that effect, you need to give him more money because he has an expense. He has a living expense that he has to cover. And if you can't pay that, he will move to a job that can pay that. So he will find another job that will pay him a little more, and he'll go do that. So I get very, very upset when people say, well, Americans don't want to do those jobs. That's absolute horseshit. It is the biggest
out of
lie.
the horse's mouth last night.
Yes.
Well,
no,
the Americans don't want to.
Yeah, Americans. No, I said no. Americans don't do it because they don't get paid enough. And I said, now let me give you an example. So you are on an H-2A visa, okay? So your wife is in South Africa with your house. You come here. You are willing to work longer hours for less money, because when you take that money back to South Africa, it's worth 20 times what it's worth here. The exchange rate in South Africa versus here is 20 to 1. Okay, so when people tell me, oh, things are so cheap in South Africa, no, they're not cheap in South Africa. They're very expensive, except when you earn foreign currency. That's why so many people go and earn foreign currency. But let's take, for example, what would be a good example? Let's say trash pickup guys. Okay, so if you have a guy that picks up trash or someone that cleans a house, okay, you have to pay them a specific amount of money. Now, just on that point, we used the gardener in our previous home, the guy that did the lawn and stuff. That got passed along from the previous owner. So we just took him over. It's like, yeah, come around. And the guy didn't really speak English. And so I spoke to him the one day. I'm like, yeah, all right. So, you mow this, you do that. And, I can't remember. I wanted to ask him about some bushes or something. So we got talking, and he was like, oh, yeah, twice a year, I just swim the Rio Grande. And I'm like, you're not here legally. He's like, no. I said, well, then I can't hire you. You got to go. You gotta get out of here. I can't. I don't hire. And for me, as at that time, immigrant, we weren't married. Like,
it was unbeknownst to us.
I didn't know. At the moment I found out, I'm like, dude, it's like you gotta go. I was thinking about, I am here on a work permit. What happens if they find me hiring illegals?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like, I'm not gonna jeopardize my opportunity I got to come to the US, which I spent a lot of money on. okay, because I'm hiring an illegal. That's like not going to be a thing. And anyway, it's against my principles. I will not fucking do it. But he charged us more than the guy we then ended up with. So the illegal charged us more for less work compared to the guy we then got, because we got him from somebody. I can't even remember where we got David from, and he was running a little crew, and he uses like school age, like older school kids.
Can I talk about what he did in comparison to?
Sure.
It's off topic.
Yeah.
But so the man we were using in the end, who actually ran with us all the way through to the end of our home in Roanoke, school teacher, hired school kids.
Yeah, like a gym guy.
Like truly involved in the community.
Yes.
Wonderful dude, wonderful family. We got to know kind of everybody through it. And actually one of the kids adopted one of our dogs out of it, which was really cool. They had quite a bond, like a real good bond. But the guy, it's fascinating when we think back of the first gentleman who was doing the lawn when Anton bought the home. It makes no sense to me why you put up with that. He didn't do a good job. Firstly, didn't do a good job. Yes, things were, done, quote unquote. But then we get this other guy in. He's constantly asking us questions. What about this? Can I take care of this for you? Are you ready at this time for this thing? Or do you want to do it, at this other date? I have these times available. What is your preference?
It's not like it was half the price, but it was cheaper. And I didn't
always
tell him to make it cheaper. He gave me a price, and I asked him, "Are you sure for that?" And he said, "Yeah, that's fine. That's what it's going to cost," and that's what we went with.
Yes.
And then he made one increase in like 5 years or something.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah. So anyway, that doesn't mean because it's illegal it's cheaper. Just FYI. And also the quality. All right. So just that said. But so what happens when you hire someone that doesn't have the overhead of an American?
Yes.
I.e., home, car, insurance, healthcare, blah 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 blah, the whole fucking list. All right, someone that is seasonal, okay, or here temporarily, they can do it cheaper because they don't have a house and a lawn. The guy can sleep literally. He can rent a bedroom from someone or sleep in his truck or however he fucking decides to live. So the guy said, "Yeah, they also make us work longer hours." I'm like, "Yeah, because you have nothing to go back to. You're here to work and then you leave." But that impacts Americans. And I said, I dealt with that specifically in South Africa, where they used to send Pakistani Indian guys. And they used to send, so we did tests for like mobile operators. And how that worked was, we had 3 guys in a car and a bunch of equipment, and the equipment used to record logs and stuff, which we then analyzed after the fact. So we had 3 guys in a car, and they used to work like 8-9 hours a day. And then, we had them either in hotels or whatsoever, however they, needed the accommodation for wherever they were. If they were in the close by area, they would go home at night, and there's no hotel, etc., etc. What the Pakistani/Indian fellows did is they sent 9 guys, okay? So they run them 3 guys at a time, 24 hours a day. So 3 guys sleep while 3 guys are out, while 3 guys work. And then they just rotate teams. So they rent one house. Everybody rotates their sleeping and shifts and stuff, and that car just runs 24 hours a day. And then they go rent a van. They like pack the stuff in there. The quality is not what we did, but it's like all because we had custom built vehicles for this. These guys do not have custom built vehicles. They just they rent a van basically, and they just run that thing broken, and then they give it back when they're done, and then they go back to Pakistan. But they rent one house where now your guys have 3 houses. They have no people here, plus the currency is worth shit. So whatever they earn here, no matter how little it is, it's more than what they get that side, because that side they probably have no job, and they all have engineering degrees that mean fuck all. Okay, so I get very annoyed when I hear that whole thing. And I was thinking about this because we have fucking ICE, and everybody's yelling at ICE, and everybody's getting upset, and I'm like, you fucking guys go, man, get them all out, because it cost me. We did the math, and I'm talking like $3 million.
Yeah.
$3 million. Yeah. Okay, it cost me to get here. So don't fuck around and tell me about jumping the fence. Anyway, read the chat, and then I'm going to do part 2.
Okay. Santa Jenna says, with the exchange rates, it truly would be cheaper for American taxpayers just to pay the third world to stay right there where they are than coming here. It actually is. Well, it's very sad.
Are cheaper than cash.
But we on that comment Simon Jonah, we actually had somebody in the other day, and the comment that he said is, well, why don't we just go and give them stuff and then they can make their own society great? It's like, dude, that's been happening literally for decades, and they are not
I
adapting
think
anything.
since the 1960s, $30 trillion have been sunk into Africa.
But they're not doing anything with it. I mean, and what did we do in these other places? There's this one guy. He took these planes and literally dropped these bucks. What happened with that?
Yes.
Or was that in
No,
the middle
it's
of the
all
night
gone.
and nobody
It's-
talks about it? Is that what we don't
The
talk about? that
problem
subject?
is when you give the third world money, okay, the third world corruption eats it.
Yes.
It
Never
never
makes it to the
makes
people.
it to the people. It never, ever. Every dime you give a third world country goes to the corrupt politicians and their cronies. The people get nothing.
But the politicians have a lavish life.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
But you know,
Many
so all
homes
these
and-
people that's like, you know, a feed a child and, you know, save a rhino, and it's all bullshit. Every single one of those things is bullshit.
But there are trackers, and you can have your own animal anywhere in the world, and you can see where it's at.
Yeah. That's another fucking grift.
Big grift.
Right.
Chappie, I like Chappie's statement here. My uncle down in California hires illegals. He says it's a Christian thing. I say, no, I am a Christian and would never hire illegal foreigners. So,
Hiring
Chappie,
illegals is it's basically self-enrichment at the expense of other people. So I don't want to say slave because they're getting money.
no,
but,
they are,
but,
and they
but
do
you
come
are
for
abusing,
that.
yes, but you are abusing them. And well, here's my biggest thing is it's not about the illegals you hire. It's about the Americans you're not hiring. It is about the people you are not giving an opportunity. That's my biggest problem is the Christian thing to do is to look after your own country.
Yes. Who said it the other day? Was it Jody who mentioned put your life support on first?
Yes.
Was that? I think it was
Yes.
Jody. I'm not quite sure.
I don't,
It's
I don't
spot
understand.
on.
Foreigners and leftists all hate Americans.
No, leftists bring in the foreigners because they are literally paying them to vote
Yes.
illegally.
Yes.
To,
No, but remember I said when I before I was here, people always complain about Americans.
Yes.
They always had this fucking
Yes.
bee in their bonnet about Americans. It's them, okay,
Yes.
and the leftists.
Yes, no, they are. That's exactly.
They would see Americans starve, but give watch salami steal from you.
It's the green people. It's the jealousy people.
Yes.
The,
Absolutely.
The ones
100%.
who want everything that other people have. Life is beautiful. Everybody has different things. We should keep it that way.
Yes,
I'll keep
and
my stuff, you
everybody
keep
has
your
different
stuff, and we
abilities,
have-
and to each his own.
Yes.
I had a friend that basically drank all the time. He was the most intelligent guy I ever met, and he just made money hand over fist.
Mhm.
I was never jealous of him. In fact, I tried to learn something from him because he obviously did something right, and I did not do
It
that
was
same
the
thing
drinking.
right.
That's what you were supposed to do 24/7.
Well, I tried that. That didn't work.
Okay, gotcha.
Not good. That just makes a lot of trouble. Yes. No. Thank you.
I
Done
tried.
that. Got the t-shirt. No more.
So Sign of Jonah does comment back to Chappie about the uncle. He says that your uncle's heart may be in the right place, but as long as it's illegal to hire an illegal, he's knowingly breaking the law. That's a sticky wicket. That's a good point. And
Yeah,
that's
I
the
don't-
part that we personally do not fathom is, okay, so obviously you're not supposed to be here. Therefore, you broke the law to get here, which means you have broken the law. Therefore, anybody of, a badged presence can take you in because firstly, that is illegal, correct? Premise.
I want to.
Can
Sorry. Yeah.
But then you take these people who live here, work here, start things here, and then they knowingly hire said people.
Mhm.
And they also refuse to acknowledge that they also broke the law, which once again, a person with a badge presence could go either ticket or retrieve and put you in jail. And there's punishments for these things. And
I think
neither of these
everybody who
people
hire illegal
want
should just
to,
go to jail.
but
They
neither
should-
of these people want to accept that the first law that was broken is illegal. It's like
Yes.
it does. They don't
they
have to
jumped
go
the
do
fence,
anything
yes.
else, and the rates of crime are exponentially
Yes.
higher. with
Have you
these
seen
people.
the videos where it's like all the white crime, and then you see the white people? It's like nobody's white.
No, and that's so ridiculous. But
So-
true white crime is actually very low, and it's very frustrating that people do not look at these statistics.
Well, the problem is when you muddy the society.
I know.
Okay, then people start losing hope, and with that, their morals, because they're like, well, fucking everybody's doing it. Why must I not? Why must I suffer? But like unfortunately, and this has always been the case, is my principles, my morals are not for sale. So I have a counter to Jonah. Just
Okay.
All the people that have, if you can be anything, be kind.
Oh,
As long as you are kind, nothing else matters.
I'm gonna make a dot on my own head.
No, it's always those guys that are the most hateful, most ridiculous people.
Yes.
Okay. That's the mentality. They believe they are being kind. Okay, but they're not. They're the most racist, the most bigoted, and the most horrible people. And that's what I think of when someone says, well, it's because they actually believe that. But, and you cannot argue with these people. You can try and break it down, and they like glaze over because they don't want to hear what you have to say, because they are so convinced in their convictions. The communists that killed the hundreds of millions of people never thought they did anything wrong. Just remember that.
And the killing fields of Cambodia are there for anybody to look into.
Yeah, that's the 70s, man. It's not that long ago.
You don't have to be a brain surgeon. And what happened in Russia is not that long ago. None of this is. That is called ID10T.
Yes.
Okay. And when the low IQ gets a little bit of power, it is dangerous. Or when the women get a little bit of power and are emotional, it is dangerous. It is not a good place to be in life. We need to say some hellos. We've got some trickling in.
Okay.
I've got Progman saying good morning, peeps. I did see Dead Dingo Dan.
Hey, Dan.
I saw Andy Pearson. There we go. I saw another one. Andy. I'm going to catch up on chat real quick, and then we can
catch that up, and then I'll
go
to part 2.
Yes. Chappie says, most Californians use illegal workers. It wasn't that way when I was growing up down in California, and that was 30 years ago. That's the thing that gets me, Chappie, is I used to spend time in California, and we've heard the same thing from a few other people. There's a good friend of ours. I didn't see it then. That's what I'm getting at. I don't know if it was in Hawaii or California, but actually stated that some of the people were leaving as soon as the door opened just because they were getting such good benefits to leave. The money that they were getting paid out was just worth it. They said it was like a however much of a paycheck to them at that point. Do you remember when our good friend mentioned that? All right, sorry about that. Let me keep going down. Catapult to send them back over the fence. Yeah. Yes, there we go, Red Phil. Oh, Boiling Point Live. Good morning. Sorry I missed you in there. 10 people need to hit the like button. Thank you, Dead Dingo Dan. So don't forget, like, share, repost, comment. Don't forget to comment. If you comment at the bottom of the stream, it helps us. So try that, please. Sign of Jonah. The money has to go directly to the mailbox of the third worlder, not the government. A check signed with the name of an American taxpayer.
I just think we should keep our own money and then shoot anybody that comes over the border.
It's one of those, until we fix like a lot of these really bad problems, can we just like hold on the taxpayer funds? Because it's not your money. Get your hand out of my pocket. I'm with you in spirit. I have to praise God with 6 strings this morning. Andy, go do it.
Yeah,
awesome. Leftist commies, Red Bull Rebel, you got it. Got it. Leftists suffer from success guilt. America is rich and they don't think we deserve it. Jamal, you are very much onto something there. I told the foreigner agents in the Alex Jones chat hating on the USA this morning, if they hate America, stop using our stuff.
Yes.
Start with electricity.
Yes.
Is that why Europe was so envious over the AC units?
They don't have power. They don't have energy. Europe is so socialistic and woke that they've basically cut their own energy off, their own production of energy.
But they are literally asking for it themselves, and they are silencing anybody who speaks out.
Well, the problem is a lot of the people are against it, but you bring the fascists in.
Well, no, and if they get in their fingers in government, it's over. In California, they don't care if someone is illegal. I know.
Yeah, I know.
Had an illegal come up to me while I was working and asked if I spoke Spanish. I said, sí. He was looking for work, I said, no mi casa, mi work. I'm not going to pronunciate that.
Not
No,
at my house. I'm working.
yes, in other words, I do my own work. Those coexist leftists were the ones who celebrated when Charlie Kirk was killed. And last I checked, they've been celebrating a lot of these things. And it's like the people aren't learning that, when you see that is where when the shit goes down, you want to back away and do not turn around.
Yes.
Do not to those people. Do not turn around. Trump raised the bar. Kamala failed the bar. AOC worked at the bar. Pelosi lives in a bar, and Democrats belong behind bars.
Yes.
I like that. Sign up, Jonah. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Thank you, Dead Dingo Den. Everybody still needs to hit the like button. He said it. Peg McGroin. Really, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Peg.
NCK. Howdy, everybody. All right, let's continue on.
All right. Part. So, it almost sounds hypocritical when I say, like, invaders shouldn't come here. Now, I have a colored history of what I did in the past. So I started as an apprentice at Siemens. We were working in the telecommunications field, and I was very, very early on in the mobile space, so cell phones. So I built the original test facility, and I was young. I was like 20, 21. So I set up the test facility for Siemens in South Africa. So we had a little bit of a half kind of put together system, and the first network just launched in South Africa. So of course it just fucking exploded, which nobody really expected it, because car phones and stuff like that always remained kind of small, and it was expensive and stuff like that. You can fill it. Okay. And then mobile came out, and I remember I had a phone that I had to carry with a strap with a big old battery and a long antenna, and it was the handle was on the wire, so it looked like a car phone. But so that was my first phone, and I was on standby with that for the test facility. So I laid out the floor plan, set up all the equipment, and got the whole thing done for the test facility in South Africa, in our offices in Waltloo. And then from there, I moved on to support. And then, long story short, I ended up running some of my own businesses and things like that. And then in 2008, 2009, I think it was 2000. Well, 2008, we had that nice little fucking wobble.
I don't know how that happened.
Yes. All right. And even in South Africa, we had quite a heavy slowdown. And then what happened was my businesses, I started in 2004. By 2008, I had 3 branches of what I was doing in 3 different cities. And I had managers and stuff like that. So I was there, I was overseeing things. But for the most part, so April 2009, I was supposed to take a break for like a week, go somewhere. So my break was at home because there was no money, because 2008, 2009, like the financial thing just fucking died. Cars stopped selling, and we were in the automotive industry at that time. So I moved away from the telecoms into the automotive. So I did all the math, and I said, well, my shops can run themselves. The overhead, it's like, I don't have money. Everybody gets paid. All the shops can run, all the rent's paid, everything's paid. Like, there's no shortage for anybody. But I don't have money. So let me go get a job. I've got managers, and I can basically, I'm used to working 12 to 15 hours, 16 hours a day. So I'll do a job, and then I'll just like manage my shops on the side, because I'm just sitting there. I've got technicians, everybody's running. I mean, I had like 12 cars, everybody was going out on site, everybody was doing what was necessary. We were servicing our customers. So I'm like, all right, let me go back to get a job, and then, carry on from there. So anyway, so I ended up doing like a technical project management job for the networks again, doing testing. That's where the Pakistanis, the cars, the network testing, the reports and stuff like that. So we did that. But in my previous life in the telecoms, prior to my businesses, we had test mobiles, like a phone. Give me a handset, any one of them. You can give me mine. There's nobody on YouTube.
No.
All right.
Never.
So we used to have a test phone, and then you plug a cable in which goes to a laptop, and then you get like a trace analysis on the laptop, but these things are very expensive. Those days they were like $50,000 a piece, like very, very expensive equipment. And every technician has to have one that one. So because they're so expensive, they used to have maybe 3, 4 departments, and then whoever needs to go do any kind of tracing used to take the test unit and go out with it. So a customer phones and says, "Man, every day I go like yeah, and then I drop a call and I have a problem." So then me as a support or engineer or whatever goes out and I take this unit and I go try and simulate what they do. All right, so we came up with an idea and we actually pitched it. So the company I worked for at that time, they did consulting work for telecoms companies. So we pitched this to them, myself and another guy. So we were actually 3 guys, and I did the technical design. At that time, not yet, but who became the second business partner. So it was me and him. We were the business partners of the business. He did the development. So I would write the specifications and tell him, okay, this is how it has to work, and he would code it. All right, and then we built the system. So we started in 2008. Then we pitched it to the company we worked for. We said, can we develop this? And then I'll manage it, I'll run it, and then he can do some of the development, but you guys have developers, so let them. And we did a whole pitch to these guys, and they were like, nope, there's no market for it. So anyway, so I started doing it on the side. We started doing some testing. I knew a bunch of guys, so I specifically went to customers, so I was in the telecoms field for 12 years, so I knew a lot of people. So I went to people in one of the networks that I knew that had nothing to do with the work we were doing currently. All right, so I spoke to some of them, and I had some of their technicians. So the job I did for that company had nothing to do with the other stuff I was doing on the sideline. After we told them about it, and we said, okay. So anyway, so they changed the management. There were some fights. I resigned. I said, you know what, this is bullshit. So I left. And just to give you an idea, so when I walked in, it was 3-month cycles. When I walked in, they hadn't delivered the previous month, and they were the previous 3-month cycle. They were late on that by a month, and they hadn't started the next one by a month. So they were, in 6 months' time, I caught up everything, plus got far enough ahead. And they had different project managers for 2 years. Nobody could get this thing rolled out properly. I don't know why. But anyway, within 6 months of me being there, I caught up the one they didn't finish, delivered it, got it signed off, did the next one, delivered that on time. So we were a month behind, and I delivered that on time. And then the next one I delivered early enough so everybody could take a holiday in December. Within 6 months. I started in May. By November, the third one was delivered. Like, these guys couldn't get this thing rolled out. So the third one was end of November delivered, so the guys could, beginning December, it's a thing in South Africa, like in Europe, the August thing, where they take like a month off. So in South Africa, generally, they take 3-4 weeks off in December. It was early delivered and signed off and cash paid out to the company by November. So much so that within the 5-6 months I was there, I got an award as their top project manager. So, and that's somewhere inside. I don't even know where that thing is anymore. I had it framed. It was very pretty, but it's gone.
That's gone.
Anyway, so then I took this idea, developed it, and of course, you get, so when we started, it was Symbian, which was Nokia, Symbian software, which is Nokia, and we had Blackberries. Okay, by the time we put the first demo into the operator, okay, Symbian was gone, Nokia was gone. I paid $10,000 for a software agent for our Symbian phone. That was gone, so that money is under the water. Then Android came out, which is the very first version of Android we worked on was version 1.2, just to give you an idea. So Android just came out, so we got some Android phones developed on that, and then we had a Windows phone, which he did most of the development for. So we had a Windows phone, a BlackBerry, and Nokia Symbian. Then we got the Android, and then we got iPhone, and we were working on this. So we ended up at the end of the day with Android and iOS, because so Android, iOS, those were the two main ones. And we had a developer. So I left the company, worked on this, got it sorted, got a demo approved with one of our customers, ran it, and then we ended up putting this into a whole bunch of networks. We started talking to American networks. They were interested in it. So we developed this thing from scratch. brought it to America. It was installed in Europe. It was installed in Africa. Brought it here, and I ended up in America with the software that we developed, bringing it here and expanding into the American market, based on another company that did the actual old test equipment we used. They kind of contracted us in at the end of the day as their baseline solution for aggregated statistics. Just to summarize real quick. So that's how I got here. All right. And I've never ever worked for a company. I've always either done my own job, or when my work permit expired, Nicole was working, I was, dad at home watching children and
that was a very important job.
Yes, and fixing houses and doing stuff. And then we started this. So when someone like Branka says invaders, I agree with him, because I never came here to take away from America. I never came here for my benefit. I always came here to bring something. And I benefit out of contributing, not out of taking. So just as a matter of interest. So that's part 2, I think. You want to catch up on chat?
I can. It actually sounds like we've got a lot more technical guys than we may realize that completely know what you are discussing here, which I absolutely love.
So meat was my hobby.
That was the thing. So the biggest
Cooking was my hobby.
I get full blame for us doing this hobby, and I can explain that in a minute. But let's catch up on chat real quick.
Right. I just want to make sure all the ECs are on.
They are.
Okay.
This one's on. I don't know about the other one.
I just want to make sure, because when it gets hot like that, the ECs can't keep up.
Europe has shut down a heap of nuclear power plants and now have to go back to the coal because renewables don't cut it.
Yep. Yeah, renewable is bullshit.
Yes.
Bullshit.
Yes.
That is a money-making fucking scheme.
Peg McGroin, if you don't know this number, everybody needs to take this number down from Peg McGroin. Okay, Peg McGroin said this. Peg McGroin, thank you for sharing your number. Peg McGroin's number is 1-866-DHS2-ICE.
Okay, good. I like it.
Peg McGroin, thank you again. Okay. Did I say it enough? Okay, just checking. A lot of good people are behind enemy lines in blue states. You are 100% on that.
Yep.
So Sign of Jonah Simmons, if people aren't aware, is a huge worldwide conglomerate. There's a massive facility in Columbus, Ohio. I worked on their handheld barcode scanners.
Okay.
How funny is that?
Yeah, Siemens does all kinds of stuff.
Crazy amounts of stuff.
I think, just as a matter of interest, more than 50% of the company is still family owned, just by the way.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Sign of Jonah mentions.
Sorry, let me. Siemens developed. I want to say, was it the telegraph or something like that? Was actually developed by Siemens. Yeah, I think so. It's either the lines. It's something like that. So the first phone call was made over Siemens.
Very cool.
Yeah, telegraph lines, and they also developed the first 1 meg and 4 meg memory chips.
Gotta kind of give those guys credit for being in the business a long time. But wait. The man. Dead spots. I made a good living finding customers' dead spots and eliminating them. So Sign of Jonah.
Yes,
how cool is that?
Yes, exactly.
Unfolding Joker, good morning to you. RF 101. What affects RF? Everything. Try putting RF in Coca-Cola plants. It was a nightmare. And then aluminum cans filled with liquid, dead spots everywhere, an engineering nightmare.
Yes.
We chuckle. Our buildings are metal. It's fun.
And the higher the frequency, the less the penetration.
Yes.
So no, but if you're running like a 2 meg, like a 1800 2 meg kind of signal, like 5G, that's actually 5 gigahertz signal. Sorry, no. The 5 gigahertz that we have on our modems, 5G is the 5th generation. Sorry, I'm like confusing the two. The 5G, although it's faster, cannot penetrate as much. So the lower frequencies like 2G actually travel further. But the old GSM was actually 900 megahertz, which was really good penetration.
Yes. So Chappie said he would like to take 3 weeks off when he was working, but Sino Jonah remembers the days when companies would buy back unused vacation. Oh, the good old days. It
Yes.
was an
Pay
extra
you
couple
out.
weeks pay for me every year. I used to
Oh,
do
yeah.
that in the hospitals because I would never take time off. And it's so easy to pick up shifts in hospitals because you work 3 12s. So 4 or 5, I've done 6 before, in a week. Then they started like cracking down and saying, no, you can't do that much.
Now we do 6, 12, 7,
No, I
12
know,
every
but
week.
I chuckled. So I was already doing that in the hospital, but then they started saying, no, you can't do that much overtime, blah, 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 blah. But man, you would rack up the extra days, the vacay days, because the more you worked, the faster they grew. It was very
Okay.
nice. Oh, I
You
love
see,
that
ours
concept.
were never linked to the overtime.
It was,
So the days
I think
you
I
work,
caught it in the in-between,
yeah.
and then they nipped it
Yeah,
in the butt.
so the overtime
Yeah.
was just overtime.
Yeah,
You still accumulated leave the same way.
They nipped it in the butt. I'm not gonna lie, they really did. Unfolding Joker, you are awesome, Anton. Big respect for you and your family. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
That's why I tell people, I do this because I want to. There's all kinds of shit Nicole and I can go do to make a lot of money.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't have my kids and I wouldn't, have endless time of wondering, what am I doing? Twiddling my thumbs. I'm so bored.
Yes, but also, this, as hard as this is, it gives you a certain amount of freedom.
Yes, it does. And a self-realization. You are thankful for what you have.
Oh, yeah.
That's the biggest thing is I know everything that we have here, that we have done, everything our kids know is because of what we've done. That is pretty damn cool. So I can be proud of myself. Nobody else has to be. We can pat ourselves on the back for that one. Don't dislocate your shoulder in the process. Peg McGroin, just trying to help out, help illegals. GTFO, what does that mean?
Get the fastest way out.
Fastest way out.
Fastest way.
I like the fastest. Real Tomby, welcome in.
Oh, good morning, good
Happy
morning.
Sunday, both, and happy Sunday chat.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for a company who paid vacation based on your average salary from the previous year. If you worked a lot of overtime, you could get good pay on vacation. Jimma.
Yeah.
See, there were some
no, but that's that's
where
what
everybody
no, but
has
the
to-
thing is, I believe that if good companies look after their people, and good people end up with good
Yes.
companies. So
Yes.
so when you do the whole illegal H
Mm-mm.
visa, then you muddy that pool. You fuck up that
Yes.
whole system. Are we caught up?
Mhm.
All right. So
Do you want to end YouTube before we talk any further, deeper?
yeah, are we
What? Interesting.
are we on time with YouTube?
40.
Okay,
40
yeah,
is long
YouTube
enough.
can go.
YouTube can go.
All
All
right.
right, YouTube, when you want to
Goodbye.
grow up and come to the cool kids, come to Rumble with Rustic Ranch. But while you are on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, all
Come
of
to
those.
Rumble.